Hello, Monica. It's nice to see you today. And we are here to just speak quickly about the Los Cedros Reserve and why this precedent-setting case is so important. So how did I get involved? As I found myself in lockdown. I went for 5 days, ended up for almost 5 months in the Los Cedros Biological Reserve. And I'd never seen such diversity, even though I've actually spent 20 years working in the Ecuadorian Amazon. But finding myself in the cloud forest, in this biological reserve, which was, had the Andean spectacled bears and jaguars and monkeys and over 900 species of moths, to actually be absorbed in this incredible nature was an experience I will never forget. And I had no idea really that it had been concessioned. And even though it is a protected park and a key biodiversity area, it had been given rights for mining of copper and gold and minerals below the reserve. So this is how this case has come about. And I'm sure many people know that Ecuador was one of the first countries in the world to give nature rights. So we're here to speak with Monica about why this case is such a precedent-setting case. Over to you, Monica.
Thank you, Nicola. Well, my involvement with the case was a little bit different from yours. I was invited to produce an amicus on my specialism, which is public international law, and particularly to look at the meaning of protection as a notion that actually is covered also by a number of international treaties, such as the Convention on Biodiversity, etc., that Ecuador is party to, and that extends the protection of the internal legal system in Ecuador to Los Cedros. Now, one of a very important element in the considerations of what Article 71 is about on the rights of nature is the intergenerational aspect. That is that if Los Cedros, which is a primary forest, and by that I mean an untouched forest that has not been intervened by human hands, let's say, it is virgin, and that is why we don't have many of them surviving in the world. And second, it is just so close to the equator line that the biodiversity is rich in every single patch. You may find, completely different species. So what I think will be very important here is that for the first time ever, the Constitutional Court of Ecuador will construe, the importance of this Article 71 in its implementation in a very specific case, developing extremely important jurisprudential elements that the world will be able to then use in other legal systems to protect similar places. And to finish, perhaps, I'd like to say that during the hearing, there were constant references to whether investor rights were more important than the rights of nature, and what was the interaction between both. And I can just say that Article 36 of the OAS Charter clearly lays down the duty that transnationals and foreign companies have to respect the laws of the country where they invest, meaning that they should do their due diligence before that, and that is a due diligence of understanding what is the legal framework. Part of that legal framework of operations is the constitution, in this particular case of Ecuador. And then what does that mean? Really, that there is no such a clash. The law is a system, and I hope that the court will be resolving that, providing the world with this important precedent.
Thank you. Yes, it was interesting in my amicus as well. I ended up working with a group of economists on actually valuing Los Cedros. And they came out with the price of $210 million. That was $41,000 per hectare. So a total of $210 million in carbon sequestration. And that's on today's carbon market, which will continue to go up. And as recently, the director of the IMF has spoken about a debt for nature swap, this could mean that places like Los Cedros are actually, saved for their biodiversity, for the natural ecosystem services that they provide in exchange for countries like Ecuador that have huge external debts. So really, it's a win-win situation for those that live in Los Cedros, all the millions of species that actually live there, and for the country as a whole. So yeah, I mean, there's so many reasons why it's really worth looking into this case. And if you want to know more, all our media releases can be found on the loscedrosreserve.org website. And the hashtag that we are using is Justicia Los Cedros. And you'll be able to find a lot more through there. So please help us to keep spreading the word. We've got a couple of weeks now until the final judgment day. So it's really important for us to make sure we keep getting the word out about this amazing place. So thank you very much. Bye-bye.